Welcome to Android tutorial. Today topic is SQLite and today we are going to see how to create a database, SQLite database, and how to create a table in database and how to access the table. Let's go to Android Studio. I need to have simple Java class, so I am creating a Java class here with AMP database. Here, so for having this SQLite database, Android system provides us the SQLite Open Helper class that we have to use to deal with the SQLite database. So for that, I need to extend that helper class. For that, I am taking one class is AMP database helper extends SQLite Open Helper. So it is asking us to implement the methods, the mandatory methods on create and on update, and it is creating the constructor. So whenever we want to use this SQLite Open Helper and whenever we want to create a database and want to create a table in it and want to access the database, that can be through this class object. So this class object, see here I am creating the object here. What I need to pass from that object here, SQLite Open Helper constructor, it is given us what it is expecting, context and database name, and cursor is always null, and database version. This database name is the fixed, so whenever we create an object, we don't need to code here and pass it from the main activity. Instead of that, so I don't need to give the database whenever I create an object here. So I make it as a constant. So I'm giving it here itself. So I don't need to pass from the activity. I need only context from the activity. I am creating this AMP database constructor with the parameter is context. So whenever we create the object of AMP database, that has to create this Open Helper object. So I am creating the Open Helper object AMP database. Here we are creating AMP database. Now AMP database helper, I am giving name as a database helper. So what is the constructor here? Expecting that context. So whatever the this is this database within the application context, and the application is the superclass of this app. Entire this app runs within the superclass application. So all these resources, files, or shared preferences files, database files is all within the superclass application class. So that class will, this context will be here passed application context, and I am passing that context here context, and I'm giving the database name here instead of giving an activity, because whenever I create, I don't want to pass what is the database and all, so I need to give as a constant here. So AMP database and version is 1 and null and 1. That's it. Now I am going to create the object of, and I need to pass application contest, and I have passed it. Now it calls this constructor and it creates the object of class which extends the SQLite open helper, and internally it calls, whenever I create object, it calls this constructor, and we pass the name to the SQLite database, to the SQLite open helper. We are saying that our database name is AMP database. Now we have passed the database, and when it will be create the database, only when we open the database. So we code the open database here, open, and we need to give as a global variable of the main class, not global to this Java class. I want to open the database. For that I am creating public open database. Here I need to call this open helper object and then get readable database. If we want to read the data from the table, we need to get readable database for better performance. When we want to write the database, and we need to get writable database. So I am giving as a readable database here. And if we want to get writable database, we need to call writable database. Get writable database. See, this is for better performance. When I want to update the database, then call get writable database, and when I want to read the database, and call the read database. Remember that whenever we call get readable database and get writable database, then only the database will be created, and the table we want to create and will be created, and it calls this on create. See, when it calls the on create, when first time you are creating the object for open helper, that means AMP database, it creates only one time on create will be called. So that means when I am installing the app, when an app is get installed, I expect this all database will be created, and the tables in the database must be created. Then I can start using the database when I am launching the app. So I expect that when it is installed, let's all database being created, then I can use when launching the app. For that, so when it will be created,